State Farm. Speaking of basketball, the Grizzlies are set to give away neck tattoos to fans at the team's February 21st game against the Clippers. Fans will receive stickers with the words Grizzlies to go on their neck in celebration of one of the team's newest surprises, James Johnson. Johnson has a tattoo of the words Naaman 3913 on his neck. That's in honor of his son, who was born 6 weeks early, fighting for his life in intensive care. He's doing well. So we're asking Ryan Clark, who is our resident expert, also athlete, is there a fascination or some type of correlation with professional athletes and tattoos?
I don't think so. I think tattoos are popular everywhere. You know, it's a lot of non-athletes who have full sleeves of, you know, on their arms, on their legs, on their back, guys with tattoos on their neck. So I think some people do it for the artistry. A lot of people feel like when you put something on your body in ink, it's permanent. So they do things that are important to them. Obviously, the neck tattoo that James Johnson has is important to him. It's important to represent his son. You know, he was born early, and he's been in intensive care fighting. And so I think for him, it was just important to represent that. I think with athletes, what happens is it becomes popular and popularized because of how important they are to people. You know, you've seen so many people now have the tattoos on the back of their arms like LeBron James has of his initials. I was watching Marcus Smart play for Oklahoma State. He has his number on the back of his arm. So I think they're more visible. Basketball players especially. Allen Iverson kind of started it to where tattoos were important. I have tattoos. You know, and I also feel like tattoos doesn't say anything about your character, doesn't say anything about your upbringing or the type of person that you are. But I do view it as people see them sometimes negatively. When I was getting my tattoos, I made sure they could always be covered if I want to. If I wear a polo shirt, you won't see any of my tattoos. They're on my back, and they stop about right here on my arm. Because I know other people, employers, they can, at their discretion, say, you know what, I don't want this person representing my company this way. I don't necessarily know if it's a fascination so much with athletes and tattoos as it is to people being fascinated by the tattoos that athletes have.
Interesting. Stephen A., your take on this?
No. Go ahead, Skip. You wanted to discuss it. I want to hear what you have to say. I'm coming.
I actually wanted to hear what you have to say. I think the floor is yours.
Ryan, you want to go again?
Well, what I think is...
In all seriousness, I don't find it to be a joking matter. And I've been on the record saying this, so I'm going to be very careful about what I say because I don't mind being held accountable for what I say and what I mean. I just hate when people misconstrue what I say like I don't have a command of the English language or something. I think I'm very clear. I don't have a problem with tattoos. I don't mind folks having tattoos. I have a problem with how excessive it has become because I think it sends the wrong message. And Ryan Clark just crystallized and illuminated my point a gazillion times over and better than I could ever hope to. When he said, I make sure it's not visible because of prospective employers and people not wanting certain things representing their product, their brand, whatsoever, and as a result, it can serve to inhibit your potential opportunities that are out there. That's me. Now let me take it a step further. You got some of these cats, let's just call it what it is. When you got stuff, and I'm not talking about this particular individual for the Memphis Grizzlies, James Johnson with his son, I respect that totally. And I respect a lot of these guys, and I understand how some of these guys go out there and they feel the need to do it. But what they need to understand is that in the eyes of a lot of people in corporate America, these dudes look like they straight out of prison. Some of them. I'm gonna call it like it is. It just looks off. It looks excessive. And the bottom line is, here's the relevancy to it. They can do what they want to do because they've made it. But what I would ask them is, what about the young brothers out there who haven't? What kind of a message are you sending for them? Because that's essentially, in a de facto or an indirect manner, what Ryan Clark was just alluding to. And that's been my point with the excessiveness of the tattoos overall. I understand that you should have the right to do it. I understand that it is not indicative of your character, and you shouldn't be somebody that's perceived to be a problem or to be trouble or to be hoodish or whatever it is just because of that. I understand that having that perception and tainting a book by its cover per se is wrong, but it's also reality, and you have to deal with that. And so as a result of it, when I sit here and I'm looking at myself on national TV every morning, and I am a black man who is educated, who understands the paucity of opportunities that exist out in this world for us, and how we're in a situation, and we complain about this as a community, Skip, which Ryan Clark will undoubtedly validate in my mind as well as Kerry. We complain about in our community the absence of opportunities accorded to us in comparison to other groups that exist in this country. Well, what do we do to facilitate that? If you come across and the imagery that you provide is not something that ingratiates yourself with a potential employer, where does that leave you? I feel an obligation to react to that and to make sure that I present myself in a fashion that, dare I say, is receptive to corporate America, because I understand the importance of imagery. I had a friend years ago that was in the fashion industry, Skip and Ryan, and she wants to wear finger lock jeans. Well, the employer that she was working for didn't want that. I can do what I want to do. I'm a black woman. I am a proud woman. I should be able to do that. He said, sure you do, just not for my job. You got to go. Fired her. So you looking for work for 8 months because you want to roll up in there in finger locks. People have the right to sit there and say, we're not flowing with that kind of presentation to represent our brand. I can't come up on First Take with you every day, Skip, with tattoos all over my face, my head, my neck, with my baseball cap on turned backwards, a warm-up suit, gold tooth in my mouth, dreads coming down my head, and going like this. Well, I'm representing ESPN. Really? It doesn't work that way.
Stephen
and that's
A.,
all I'm saying.
Power of perception and tattoos. We will address this after the break. We'll be right back in just a few moments. Stick around, everyone.